Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Great day out on the water today. A little bit overcast, we're expecting some rain, but we have a very, very good tide. Now, this is the start of the specialized podcasting type series that I'm doing. And it's going to be the brim files, bass files, flathead files, and probably kingfish files as well. And species orientated type blog styled shows. And the idea is to take some of the highlights that we are achieving as we're going through each time we're out, and then bringing them into a much more detailed context, with me explaining a lot more on how and what's going on around those areas that we're fishing. So today I'm going to be really focusing on brim, bass and flathead. And the idea is to try to find those little tweaks for you that are going to help you catch more fish when you're out on the water. Now, I did go last weekend to Sydney Harbour to go see if the kingfish were running yet. It is early autumn. Towards the end of autumn, you start getting those big schools coming in and chasing all of the bait fish up and around the Parramatta River. And I really want to get some of that action for you. I went last weekend and unfortunately they weren't around. It was actually quite quiet. So I've come back to the Hawkesbury this weekend and I'm going to be fishing up the creeks and up the rivers, and we're going to endeavour into the world of tactical lure fishing on the Hawkesbury, and hopefully we get some good catches for you. So join me, let's go, have a good time today, and please guys, subscribe, help me out man. I'm trying to get this show to the next level. The algorithms of YouTube and so on only improve as I get more subscribers. So please help me out, give me the thumbs up so I can get to that next level. And I, in return, will bring you epic shows on fishing here down under. So just starting our session today, and I'm going to go for some flathead out around these boulders and so on. It is low tide at the minute, but it's early morning, and flathead love low tide. They're very, very good predators, and they like to stay in the shallows, and the bait fish sort of push up there because they're waiting for that tide to come up, and they're looking for food, yes, but also for cover in the rocks and so on to keep themselves away from predators. So I'm going to just endeavor to throw a couple of good sized crankbaits and see if I can get a bite. So that's good. And for the flathead bite, I do enjoy using an open cast reel. So that's what I'm going to set up this morning, and I'm going to put some really good crankbaits on this, and I'm just going to work it around, and I'll have this out all day just to kind of check little areas and so on. So let's get into it guys, let's get into it. I'm really excited. So I did manage to sort out a little bit of organization over the last couple of outings, and just sort of get everything where it needs to be. I really need to get into that and get all these boxes sorted out, relabeled and everything else. Got some competitions coming up and I need to start getting ready for those. But in the meantime, I'm just going to really look for something with a nice silhouette in the water, but something quite mirror-like, because flathead early morning really get triggered to the flashes of those fish that are moving around, and something that has a nice cadence as well. Now, I've got an older lure here which I've been using. I use this one in the United States. Its hooks are a bit messed up, so I'm going to put some new hooks on there, and I'm going to get this guy, because this guy here is a absolute star when it comes to flathead. Right, so I've got some O-ring splitters over here, and I'm just going to take these hooks off and put some new ones on. And you know what happens a lot of the time is you're out fishing, and you know, with the salt water, these hooks, they just don't last very long. I like nice sharp hooks, so I get them in bulk and keep them out of the salt as much as possible, and then I put new hooks on when I need them. So here's a little tip for you. Once you've split the O-ring and you're taking the old hook off, put the new hook just behind it so you can slide one off and one on, and it just keeps that O-ring nicely split all the way down, and saves a lot of time and hassle. So you just take one off as that goes. As you can see there, I'm just sliding it down and I'm sliding the other one up, and there comes the one off, I just pull it around, and there comes the brand new hook on, and there it is, nicely stuck. See that? So that's a good thing. So once you split your O-ring, this is another hook, look, it's broken here, so I'm going to put a new one on here. So I split the O-ring, I slide the one into the O, into the gap, and then I just feed the other hook behind it, and that's how you get your hooks on. There she is, everybody, and ready to go. Nice new hooks, nice fluorocarbon, nice and strong, good reel in the zone. Now it's time to get a fish. Right, no go on that bank, that's fine, nice little pass. I'm going to go straight across now to the other side. I'm going to fish the same scenarios while I wait for that tide to start coming in. It's just turning now, and it's going to start pulling things up, allowing me to go into those back areas again and go and explore some of those really cool fish that live up those rivers. But I'm going to go across, carry on for a bit of flathead fishing just to see if anyone's around. Very quiet so far. Here's what it is, and let's shoot across. Go. So hey, not waiting around over there, nice little area, went through it, threw a couple of baits, nobody home. Straight across now to the other side. I'm going to just follow a point. Lots of rocks, lots of sand, same type of thing. Let's go. Alright, we just arrived on the other side here, and I can see the current starting to come in, so that's great. It's going to start filling up some of the backwaters that we need to go in through the day. We've got plenty hours up there. We've got a nice even tide today, and I can really fish on the way up. This is a good day to really get some lures going in the water and to try and find some really big fish. I'm really going to be able to fish all the way up, stay up, and then fish all the way down. If I get the timing right, the tide at around about 1:20 is when the tide is shifting back down again, and I've got a couple of humps I need to get over up the rivers and so on, so I need to be on time today. Can't make a mistake, because if I do make a mistake, that's going to be 8 hours or so sitting on a bank, and that's going to take me to very early tomorrow morning. So definitely can't make a mistake today, but we should get it right. The tides are really good. Definitely quiet on the home front at the minute, and I'm going to be moving on as that tide starts coming in right now. I've got so much to fish up ahead of us here. I'm just going to keep prodding along and prodding around, starting to get some of the smaller baits together as well, so that I can start mixing up the species a little bit. Water's kind of dirty, which doesn't scare me at all. I love a bit of dirty water, but we're going to have to be versatile, I think, to get these, and the timing has to be absolutely perfect as we go up. So I'm going to go and just dabble around, and I'm going to go across now to the oyster leases and just work that area there and see if we can get those bites. So this is definitely prefrontal conditions. It's going to rain today and into tomorrow. We've had 4 of the hottest days in the last 3 years here in Sydney, so you can imagine this beautiful hot weather, and now you've got a prefrontal frontal system coming through. That's definitely turned the fishing off, at least in this area. But don't think, because typically in one area the bites aren't there, which they are not, that they won't be in another area later on. It's also time of day. Middle of the day there's going to be a little bit more sun, and then it's going to start really going downwards towards rain this afternoon. So don't give up, keep going. That's always a good thing. Some of the worst days that you can have can turn into some of the best days you can have by trying. And we're just going and we're working spots and we're changing our approach and we're changing our lures, and we're really just looking for bites, and the minute they definitely are not there. So in the typical areas, nothing yet. So I'm just going to keep on working. I'm excited though because I know what can happen further up, and different species do different things on different days. So yeah, the brim bite has been completely off and the flathead bite has been completely off at this time. So we're not in a region where there'll be any bass or any estuary perch. That's further up. So we're working at it. I'm having fun, man. This is great. This is fantastic. Right, so definitely I'm not finding the bites that I want here either. Very, very, very concerning, but that's okay. We're going to continue moving up right now, and I did that whole flat over there, sand flat, and no, there's no bites on it yet. A little bit of activity here and there, but who knows? You know, a little bit of structure up the river, some deeper water, some shallower water maybe, some clearer water maybe. That might make a difference. So we're going to change this around today. We're going to work hard, and we're going to get those fish. So let's get up the river a little further. Well, this water is moving in at a very rapid rate, and it's filled up things really well. It's almost getting to the height that I need. It's an incoming tide, and usually I find better fish on the outgoing tide, but it's going to allow us to get right up in that river, and I want to go now. I want to get over those sandbanks that we need to get over, and I want to get up into the higher regions and go up as high as I can, just to explore it a little bit and to see if we can turn this day around. But definitely from the low tide. Now you got to remember, we started off on a complete low tide today, so the fishing's not going to be good during a low tide. Now we got that coming in tide, and as you can see behind me, it's pushing us really, really well, and so that's when the fishing's going to pick up. So even if I've had a slow morning, it has nothing to do with if the fishing's bad or if the fishing's good. We were just fishing a low tide. We're now going to move up there. It's looking good. I want to hit it on the way up as good as I can, and then catch it early afternoon on the way down and see if we can get some bites. So that's the reason why I think the fishing hasn't been great. We were sitting on a low tide, and low tide's never that great. But here we go. We're going to move up now, and we're going to get over that sandbar and then get into some good water and fish hard. Right, going in for the attack now up the river here, and I'm using two baits specifically. I'm going to be using spinnerbait and paddle tail, because there's a lot of little fry in the water. So here's the paddle tail that I'm using, just a little guy like that, blackened head. I use a bit of nail varnish to make those black, as I've shown you in previous shows, and that's just to conceal it a little bit so it doesn't look like a piece of lead coming out, and it's not as suspicious to the fish. There we go, and we got a fish right there we go. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting to get our first bites of the day, and that's what we are really here for. This is a nice flathead as well. Yes, that's a good, decent fish. It's over to here for me to lift. There we go, nice little one. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So, oops, there we go, nice and easy. Released, and up here, and I just want to get the tongs for him because he's got spikes all over him. Right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There's a nice flathead, and just showing the diversity of our attack today. Right, so that paddle tail definitely is working. We've seen that. We got that little bite there, and that's just the start, hopefully, of what our midday afternoon is going to look like. and just flipping it in, trying to keep it active. That was on the edge of the mangroves to get that first bite of the day, which was very welcome because we've been working quite hard, but it does show you that that bite is starting to come right, and it's really on the tide. It's not the time of the day at all. Fish will have to feed when they have the opportunity to, and that's what we're starting to see right now. So that was a good little flathead to start us off. Oh, there we go again. All right, so that's a bream this time. So really starting to get some catches now. There we go. So that's just the paddle tail really working now, and straight away again turning a very slow fishing day into a good fishing day, I guess. And that is exactly what we've come here for. And there she is. Right, now we're starting to get some action. So again, tide's coming in, bite window is starting to open, and that little paddle tail is deadly in the river system. So there it is, and it's producing the bites, and all of a sudden now that bite window is opening. Not the biggest fish yet, but we most certainly are getting some bites. So a little flathead and a bream now, and our day from a terrible day is starting to turn into something a little bit better. So let's keep on at it. I'll let that one go, and we'll keep on working at it. I'm anticipating some good fishing today. Great. Okay, everybody, for the bass files. This is a full frontal river bass assault, and here we go. We're gonna work this water. We're gonna use 2 baits, paddle tail and a spinnerbait with a paddle tail on it, and we're going to try and get some of these very elusive and very difficult fish to catch, which are the Hawkesbury river bass. Let's go. Right, here goes our attack here, and it is just going to be a very good aggressive type of attack. All of this foliage in front of us has been really, let's turn that down, really flooded now, and it's up where it needs to be. So a lot of the casts need to be in the zones and into the areas where the bass are going to be. You actually got to put them in there and then just draw them slowly out, and just really work the water. And there is several casts to one area sometimes required. It's not just one cast in the area. You may need to work it a few times into those areas. So I'm starting off with a spinnerbait because I can cover a lot of water. I want to see if I can get some bites with that spinnerbait. That's what I'm trying to find out right now. Always revisiting places afterwards, just because you may have woken someone up, and make sure that you go back on your work. I'm not too far away from the bank, as you can see. I'm keeping quite close to the bank, and I'm just sort of putting the bait in all these areas, trying to get the softest touch on the delivery, and then just pulling it out of there. And this is how we hope to get these bass excited. Right. Lots of muck in the water. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually sometimes a good thing. Lots of mosquitoes around now, lots of bugs around. Really trying to get through all of that as well. And but hey, listen, that's fishing, right? Right, I'm going to try paddle tail as well. I haven't had many follows at all on this particular bait, so I don't know if they're set up for this yet. They're not feeding at all, so I'm going to have to go a little bit more discreet, I believe, and try to get them to bite if they are underneath there on a paddle tail. So I'm going to do that right now. Let's just change that up quick and get that paddle tail going again. It's been the bait for today so far. Alright, let's go, and I'm just going to be pitching it nicely and accurately into areas. See if I can get them to bite. They're definitely not at this stage by any means aggressive, so we're going to have to try try to provoke them in another way. There we go. There we go. That's nice, whatever it is. That's what I'm looking for. Yep, in the sludgy stuff. That's what we're looking for here, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so this is what I've come here for. And yeah, the paddle tail, I've had to work really hard, but I've got a really good fish on here. And it's a beauty actually. And I want to land it. Let's see if I can do it without breaking my rod. Oh, it's a bit big. Let me see if I can get it in. Oh, goodness me. There she is. Wow. And that's what I'm looking for, ladies and gentlemen. So, bass under the sludgy stuff, and tides come in and it's come up really nicely. Look at that sucker. Got it right in the corner of the mouth, and really glad to have caught that. And that's hopefully the start of the change for us this afternoon. And that paddle tail working for us further down in the river, and now starting to work for the bass. That is an absolute beautiful fish, and really cool to have that on board today. Right, so that just came out, and look at that, that just popped out of its mouth. Catch and release on this show. Beautiful fish. Mwah. See you later, and hopefully there's more to come. Great catch. Right, straight away I got another bite there, so that's a good sign. Got a good bite there too, so I'm going to just make sure it's ready, and I'm going to go back for that fish. It felt like a good fish. Accuracy is everything, right to the back, there it is, and then just play it out and see if I can get that bite again. There it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, it was close, but unfortunately not there. Might be smaller ones, but there'll definitely be some others around, so we'll keep it engaged in this water here. I do like this gunky stuff here. I guess the smaller fish will come in and start feeding in this, and that's why they're there underneath waiting for those fish to come feed. And possibly the reason why we got that last take. So get it right back in there. I'm starting to get my casting distance just right, but I'm really feathering it out from there to get them to want to bite it. And it catches the sticks and everything on the way down as well, which is quite tricky. There we go. Make sure it's very clean and ready to go. Look at that, clean, clean, clean. By that mat, I'm just going to drop it underneath that mat because they're around for sure. Straight away I caught some sticks. There we go, there we go, beautiful. There's another one, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So I'm definitely on him now. That's a good fish too. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, I think I found the fish, turning that very bad fishing day into a very good fishing day, and the bass are definitely around. I've had to really slow things down to try and get them, and this is another good fish, and I'm going to have to be careful because I might break my rod on the way up. It's a real good beauty. Look at that. There it is. Another nice big football, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I got it in the mouth again. So not as big as the other one, but it's still a good bass. And you know, I've done so many tournaments on the Hawkesbury River for bass, and it's so difficult to find them. So it's nice when you start really catching them. It's taken me a while to really figure out and to hone on what they are all about. And I've come up here before and I've done spinner baits, and they've worked on spinner baits. Today they're like a very subtle, very slow bait, and that is definitely getting the bass. So wow, what a great fish once again. I'm so happy that things are working out now, and that tough day is starting to turn into a very good day. There it is, and what a great bass for the Bass Files. Wow, I'll release it right there. Thank you. Thumbs up. Day's looking good. Nice water again. Winds come up a little bit. They're definitely favouring slightly deeper water and in this leafy stuff, definitely. So I'm really targeting some close targets now, trying to get some bites. There we go. Gotcha. Nice. That's a good one again. Very good. Very big one this time. This is really a good one. And I can't even lift it up, I don't think, into the boat. Straight up. This one actually looks like an EP cross between a bass. So in other words, a hybrid. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. What a wonderful catch once again. Beautiful fish, right in the mouth. And really took that bait really well. I only just got it in though. I managed to just hold it. And I just re-rigged this with something a little bit heavier on the head, just because I wanted to punch through all of that grassy stuff and that. And there it is. Now that, I believe, is a crossbreed. That is cross between a bass and an estuary perch. You can see by the mouth and how that mouth looks, and it's got that big hump on its back, and it's very silver. So they do crossbreed, but that is a beautiful hybrid estuary perch bass, whichever way you want to do it. And that's why when you do competitions, both of the species count here on the Hawkesbury River, because they do interbreed up the rivers. But that's an absolute beauty again, and just thoroughly enjoyed that fight. What a champion of a fish. Excellent. Champion fish, ladies and gentlemen, and everything's catch and release on this show, so let me put her back in the water. What a wonderful catch and a great day, man. Really turning out to be good. Just had to give one little flick over there after that retie. It's just a good spot. See, there's backwater there and a little bit of a shelf, and some of the predators, some of the good predators, like a big predator, can sit there. So I got to go at it, but I'm already starting to touch bottom. I can feel it. The current's cruising past and I'm touching sand. I got to move. Got a beautiful spot up ahead now. This is a very good little spot. This is definitely worth a fish right here. So let's, there we go. Got him. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Told you this is a great little spot. And that's a great looking fighting fish, this one. Yes. That's how you get him. That's how you get him. Nice fish here. Looks like an EP estuary perch. I called the spot too. Really good. Alright. That looks really nice. And again, beautiful sized fish. There you go. Nice big EP. Beauty. You see how much wider it is. Crossbreed again, I think. But there's another beautiful fish caught just here, and I called that one just on that little spot there, and the result was there. So we definitely got the right thing going. That paddle tail again, man, you know, it just seems to be producing the good fish. So fantastic, and we'll put her back in the water. Thank you. What a great looking fish. Fabulous. Off you go. And she's out of here. Back in there. This is epic. Right, I see baitfish up ahead of us in the water, so that's a good sign. This area up ahead is looking good. There we go. Look at that. Just as I was talking about. Just beauty. A nice big brim. I just knew it. I'm going to try and get away from this area. Could be a, oh no, it's a proper EP, this one. proper estuary perch. So this time I got a what looks like a proper estuary perch, an actual thoroughbred estuary perch this time, and nice. Too big to lift again. There you go. And this one is definitely more silver and less bassy looking. And there it is. Let's get it by the mouth. There we go. There you go. Lovely. Another great estuary perch. You can see how nice and silver that one is, and that is a proper estuary perch, that one. And again, just chasing the little baits as we're following it around. So just incredible. Another great fish for a good day out. Amazing. What a turnaround, eh? See, it can be done. All right, let's get that back and get right back to it. So everybody, that's a wrap, and what a great day out. It's time to run now. The weather's going to close in, and I need to get back home, and I need to take the boat down and pack it down and wash it down and whatever else. But yeah, you know, there's a great example of how to take a very slow starting day, which you think, oh my gosh, you know, there's no fish and there's nothing much happening out here, to where you actually have a very, very productive day. But everything comes with work. You got to work and work and work and believe the whole time in the fact that you are going to hook into fish. So we got a wonderful array of fish today. We got a nice brim. We got a couple of bass, 3 bass or so. We got 3 good estuary perch. And 2 good flatheads. So that is a decent day out in anyone's books. So it just shows you, man, just stick with it. Don't give up, like, just because the first few hours don't go for you. Stay with it, and you can then have results just like that and have all these awesome fish catches during the day. So guys, thumbs up. Thank you very much. Hey, please subscribe, man. Thumbs up, please, because that'll help me out a lot. I really want to try and take this to the next level and get some other shows going. Coming up, we have the brim, bass, flathead, and possibly some other species. We've got some shows that are the brim files, bass files, and the flathead files. And basically it's the how-tos, and it's a blogging type show that I'm going to do so that you can learn how to catch fish, and you can see how I've done it and what my thought process was at the time. So fantastic, guys. Have a great time, and I can't wait to see you on the next show. Cheers.